Welcome back, everybody. We're going to talk about dealer tokes, critical component of every player's pocketbook.
Tokes or tips?
Tokes. Tokes. It's got to be tokes. Oh, yes. Tokes.
Okay. Well, hopefully we'll find out the difference. Hey, welcome to Color Up. I'm here at Casino Quest, and we've been working on this awesome new series. If you love the game of dice like I do, we cover everything there is to know about dice with David, the master. We cover just all kinds of stuff, so make sure to subscribe to Casino Quest. We're gonna alternate these videos, so one week they're gonna be on mine, next week they're gonna be in Casino Quest. You wanna be subscribed to both of us. We'll go ahead and put a link to the playlist down below, but definitely this is a series you don't wanna miss.
So dealers refer to all their money on the game as a toke. So there's a toke box, toke drop, toke split, tokes. So
where did the tip come from? What is tipping? I guess you tip a waitress.
You do tip a waitress, and you toke a dealer. I have no idea what the hell.
But it's tokes.
We're gonna have someone comment.
Yeah.
If you know why it's tokes, comment away.
All right.
All right, let us know.
But it's tokes.
But it is tokes.
Okay.
T-O-K-E-S.
All right.
And here's what we like, two things. If I'm a dealer, I'm gonna love it if you put me up on the line for $1. Just start out. The minute you show up at the table, the first thing you do.
All right, so I want to shoot.
Yep.
That's a $10 table.
Yep.
Now we're talking about token, you guys.
Token.
What do you mean? Put it.
My favorite thing. Bet right next to you. You can bet it before you, after you, as long as you bet it on the line. You're gonna love it. If you walk up to a table and you put just $1 on the line, that dealer now is incentivized. You are the dealer's favorite person.
So does it? How do you know that this is for you? Well, I guess mine would be stacked or whatever. But is there?
Yeah, I mean, I'll take the 10. I mean, we can switch
how do you
anytime
differentiate?
you want. Well,
I guess
first
you
of all,
assume the little ones.
The little ones, and because it's a $5 table, sir.
Okay.
You can bet whatever you want for the dealers, but you got to bet the minimum. So if it's a $10 game, the one's got to be.
So I can't do right. Okay.
And we would announce it, by the way. So when we see a toke hit the ground, we're going to say, "Well, sir, thank you very much. Deal is on the line for $1." And if that somehow was not the case, you're like, "Oh no, I'm betting for my grandmother," then we would just go, "Oh, I'm sorry to hear about that," and then we would have to stack it up. You know what I mean? Because we would have to make it. You're only allowed to make one. So I can't bet for my wife,
grandma wife.
I mean, if you did the table minimum, you could put down more than one bet because it's the same thing. So like, let's say for example you had this, and you're like, "Well, I have $10 for my wife." Well, that's great. If there's no spot, I'm going to stack it up. If there is a spot and your wife is coming later, I'm just going to leave it like that. You follow?
What if she's just standing off?
And you're like, trying to split it up to keep the bet? I suppose that's fine. I wouldn't mess with it too much, but why don't you guys just split it when you get done? You know what I'm saying? Yeah. But yeah, so dealers, we love it if you start out with a bet. I tell you what, my practice is always, even if I lose the first bet, I start out with one bet in the beginning so that they know that I'm capable. I may not toke them every roll, and now I'm only going to toke them really when I win, but at least they know that I'm capable of betting a toke, right? So the first thing is you bet for the dealers where you bet. Whatever you can bet, whatever you bet for yourself, the dealers love it.
So I'm going to do double odds.
Yep.
I can do same thing?
Same thing, yeah. So you can do single odds, double odds, whatever you want to do. We love that. That's called taking shoes for the boys, or girls. And we would say, dealers on the line with shoes.
Okay, nice.
And now we'd be even more fantastic. Now, now we're rooting for you. We're really rooting for you. So put it right next to you. The dealers will help you out. Some casinos will want the dealer bet last, want the dealers to get paid second. So the dealer might fix that and put it over there. But in most cases, it's not a thing. Now, one other thing that you can do is, and takes a little more expertise and knowledge, is you can do what's like a progressive or parlay type approach. You could say, this is a bet for the dealer under player control. So you can add to your bet, right? And the shoes. Now, here's why players would do that. Let's say this hits, right? Pays $11 here, under player control, okay? And I got 22. And then this is, or 22, so 44, right? Mm-hmm. Now, the reason why some players will do that is they'll lock up the red, give the dealers the white, push the white in, and then leave these to make the next bet. You follow? Mm-hmm. So each time, so that's what they call under player control, or stack it up, this kind of thing. You follow? Mm-hmm. So that way they keep the same checks in play, and they hand in the winners to the dealers.
Okay, so I know another well, I guess it's some places when I make this bet and it wins, like they've told me I can't press it or something. They have to drop it.
They have to take it down. That's correct. So any bet that, so that's why you would have to put it under your control if you only wanted them, if you wanted to leave their bet up, basically.
Okay.
So, but once you have a bet for the dealers that's in play, so let's say you had $1 for the field, in the field for the dealers, right? You say,
so
hey, that's for you.
I could bet it anywhere?
Anywhere.
Okay.
Anywhere you want in the game. You can't pass post. You can only bet bets you can normally bet.
Can I bet on the don't?
Not after the point's established.
But I mean beforehand,
you sure
pass,
can.
I can still put them.
I mean,
kind of weird,
technically,
I guess, right?
dealers would love you for that too, by the way, because that's
okay.
that's going to happen, right?
Okay.
But let's say you bet on the field. So if they pay that, if it wins, it has to come down. They can't leave that bet. You can't ask them to leave that bet there, okay? The only way that you can change that dynamic is you would put it on top of your bet and say that's bet under player, that's a dealer bet under player control. Now let's say a 9 rolls, and this pays $6. You could then have them, you could take your nickel, hand the dealer's winnings in and say that's for you, and leave that in play. But it has to be stacked up on your bet, under your control.
Because I've asked at one place where for me, I typically bet with place bets. So I bet place bets for the dealers.
Yep.
And they kept dropping them. I'm like, can I do a player control and put it on top of my bet? And they said, no, you can't do that.
Really?
Yeah, and I thought, well, what if I don't say a word and I just make a $6 bet?
And then you hand it into them.
And then I hand it in, right?
That's exactly right. It makes no sense. The same way that casinos say they don't do put bets, but they do it. You know what I'm saying?
So if I just stacked it.
Yep.
Okay.
Say, hey,
it's a rare instance, I think.
You could say, hey, give me 27 across, right? This is what you can do. If you find a dealer who's just being stupid or just is stupid.
I didn't know what to say to him. I'm like,
just give me 27 across, and then, hey, add $5 to that on top.
Yeah.
And now as each of those hits, you know what I mean? At first, they're going to think you're stroking them, right? But now, let's say the 9 hits, right? It's going to pay 7, and you're just right now you're just going to get $1
just
for that dollar.
for that.
Yeah. Then so hey, that's for you. You know what I mean? Don't even say it's under player control. Just hand it in, and now they know what the hell you're doing. Gotcha. And if they say that you can't have a $6 9, at that point you're either got to call a supervisor over. Or, I mean, I don't understand how. Of course, they want you to have a $6 9.
I'm trying to get tipped.
It's a terrible bet. Why every casino wants a $6 9. There's not a casino alive. Okay. They would love for you to have a $9 9. Of course they would. You know what I'm saying? The only one that's not benefiting is you.
All right. So on the line with shoes, I could do any bet. So I typically say, like, I go inside for the dealers.
Yep.
Like, there's a certain place you put them?
There is a certain place. So what they'll do, there's 2 different ways, by the way. And one of them is where you are, okay, because I've seen this on some videos out there, okay, back out in Colorado. The dealers will put the bet, they'll make it a put bet in front, and they'll put it in front of their bet, right? This is why it's not staying up to win, because this is now a come bet. So this is how they're betting. So if you say I want $4 on the inside numbers, they're setting up as put bets basically for them. So if a 9 rolls, they're going to pay the 9 and take it down, right?
Drop it, yeah.
Versus a place bet, technically, where you could say I want you to stay up on the place bet, right? Because come bets, have to come down, right? Unless you re-put the bet. If you give them another dollar to come back, okay? But this 9, so if you gave this bet to me and you said I want you to have $4 inside place bets, under player control or leave them up to win, every time a 9 rolled, I'm going to hand in that dollar. And I like this bet. As a dealer, I would rather this bet than this bet. Even though I'm going to get paid, and down $2, if I'm still up on the 9, I get a chance to make more money, be part of a big hand and make more money. Because I'm not going to make money. I mean, dealers always want to be in action. That's the goal. Okay, so if I've worked what's called table for table jobs, where you feast or famine. Like, you had to generate all your tips on a crap table, which is tough, by the way. It's not the easiest way. You really that's where I learned how to really be extroverted.
Okay, because you got to earn your money.
You got to really earn your money, and it's tough on a dice game. Let me tell you, blackjack.
Because you got those jerks over there who might not be doing their.
And then God forbid the don't pass crew shows up.
Okay.
The negative Nancy's or Nellies or whatever you want to call them, because they're not. The don't pass players don't tip all that much in general. Okay? There's a few of you out there that do, but for the most part, when you're that negative to begin with, you're just
Okay. It must be a regional Colorado thing, because they always seem to put them in the middle. And
they put them in the middle. Yeah, there's a few local places they do that. They always.
I just didn't know how to ask. Like, guys, can we
Yeah.
Can we just
make it a place bet?
Yeah.
Yeah, they put them right here because I've seen it. They put them right here and they pay them off. Because dealers always want to be in the mix. They always want to be part of the roll. I have an opportunity to make so much more money, especially like if you're putting me on the line. I would much rather you do that if you know how to do it, because I can't really direct you. That's the other thing. Okay. They don't want dealers telling. I can't really communicate to you like what's the best bet for you to bet. You know what I mean? It's a real touchy subject. There's a real fine line there. So. In that respect, I'm really hoping that this video gets out there. Yeah, people learn how to toke. So if you want to toke under player control, boom, that way you can stack it up, you can add to it, we could be a part of it. You have a hot roll, I can make some real money. You know what I mean? But anyways, dude, pass on and shoot.
In general, you prefer us to bet this way as opposed to just every once in a while throwing you some?
I mean, anything is better than nothing. But being in the mix, because this is a bet that you might do more often. As you win, you're going to put this in. Throwing in errant $5 is great, but how many times are you going to do that? I mean, I have a player, by the way, who bets like 110 inside. This is what they call a George. There's another slang for you, right? A George. He doesn't want any reds. He gives the dealers every red check he gets paid. So if he's getting a $35 nine, he's throwing this into the dealers. That's basically us having part of that action. That's under player control. We love that all day long. That's different.
Sure. Yeah.
If you're coming out of your check rack, I mean, frequently or on a regular basis, that's fine. But being in action, it's a mindset of you sort of putting us in play and making the dealers an important part of the game. Plus, we're excited for you. I mean, dealers winning is a fantastic thing. The stickman's cheering, baseman's cheering. You're getting fully serviced. I mean,
When is it okay? I know I feel really obligated even if I get bad service at the restaurant to tip them no matter what.
Yep.
Is it the same for you guys?
All right, dealers are going to hate me for this, but
this guy's kind of a jerk.
Yep. I don't tip jerks. I just don't do it. I can't bring myself to do it, me personally. Obviously, dealers make tokes, but you gotta do.
I might do a little bit and move.
Maybe you have a couple extra bucks, you could throw it in. But if I'm not getting, if the dealer's not there, giving me a bad attitude and making my experience less, that's not a positive thing.
If you're there doing your job, fine. But some of them actually, it seems like,
it's terrible.
Why do you hate me right now? Like I'm just trying to play a game.
No, we hate that.
Okay.
We were just at a casino the other day. Me and Alex, by the way, played at a casino. We were treated very badly. The dealer did not like dealing to us. Because we were bantering and we were doing our thing. We were having fun.
Yeah.
There are dealers that just don't want to be part of that experience. They've either been dealers for too long or they have no personality, whatever. I won't tip them. I don't see why that's a thing. By the way, on a dice game, this is a game where there's a lot of self-service bets, but there's a lot of there's a lot of ways for a dealer to fully service. You're a player. We're there. We're there as a dealer to help you keep track of your bets, explain things to you as we go, and sort of accommodate what you want to do in the game. That's the kind of deal you should expect. And if they're facilitating your play or providing full service, like come bets. If you have a dealer who's just paying out in a come and not reminding you of your odds, or you're losing opportunities, and because we're players, we're there to have fun as a player, right? You're going to be drinking, maybe have your family with you, or these kinds of things. The dealer should be there to keep you, on top of your game. Remind you of the bets, explain things, and those are the kinds of dealers that should get paid for their effort, especially if you win. Now, if you don't win, no dealer is expecting a tip for that. But if you do win and you walk away with money, you had a great experience, that's when you need to, take care of your dealers. How about that?
So if I'm losing, really, you don't expect me to?
I don't, not me personally. I know. So when I go out and play, I take it as I know that dealers, me being, my relationship with the school and being a dealer for so long and all this other stuff, I know that dealers make minimum wage. Like I know the slot clerks make minimum wage. So when I sit down, when I belly up to a machine, I play Keno, as you know, a lot of Keno. If I'm there for an hour, I want to make sure that my slot person gets about $10 an hour from me. I want them to remember me. I want to create opportunity for them. I know they're making $8, $9, whatever the minimum wage is. And I want to give them that $10. So I will cash out of my machine, or I will make sure that even if I'm losing, I sort of create a benchmark for a toke. So at the very least, My physical person is worth X amount of dollars. If I'm getting my drinks and I'm being accommodated and I'm having a good time, those kinds of things. You follow?
Yeah.
But reasonably, as a dealer, I'm not expecting, if someone's losing...
I know when I'm losing, I will typically go, okay, I mean, I need to set aside, I brought this much, I'm going to set aside this. At the end, I'm going to drop it anyway for them because, I don't know.
Yeah.
I don't know.
I mean, that's the thing.
It sucks, but...
And especially in local markets, those casinos, like especially with local casinos, you know that you get to know those dealers.
Yeah.
You know, they're either going to roll their eyes every time they see you, or they're going to go, "Hey, Color Up, how you doing?" You know what I mean?
Your reputation, okay.
So that's all part of it. But if I'm getting crushed, I might throw it a few dollars here or there, try to change up the thing. But for the most part, I'm tipping when I'm winning. I do start my play on a dice game with Tokes, but apart from that, I mean. And it's all subjective. It's kind of up to the player, but yeah.
On the positive end, I haven't never got there, but is there a table max for tips like there is for the player? Or?
So sometimes casinos will have some policies in effect where you can only bet X amount in relation to your bet. So amazingly, when I was at the Rio, we used to have the Smith brothers and a few other gamblers that were King Georges, and they were known to bet 1,000 for themselves and 1,000 for the dealers. Like they were just there to have fun. They wanted to be there. There are people that love to just be recognized for generosity.
Okay, yeah.
They're billionaires. They're not there to win any money.
They're there to
just to have fun and give you money.
Okay.
But here's the thing: every dollar in the toke box is a dollar the casino can't win.
Because it goes to the
to the dealers. Yes. So a lot of casinos will set limits. Some casinos will set limits on the types of tokes that you can make in relation. Yeah, exactly. I know. So the Rio, a few others, they had policies. You can only bet half as much as up to $400, this kind of thing, based on whatever your bet was. So it really just kind of depended.
That's too bad.
No, that is too bad.
All right. Well, I think we've covered all the tips here. Let's move to the center. Can we tip in the center just as well?
100%.
Okay.
100%.
Let's check it out.
Those long odds.
All right, obviously I'm not going to toss in my tokes from here, but whenever I toss in, how do I make them? I don't even know what to ask for when I'm tossing them. I usually stick to what I know, but how do I make a prop bet?
So throw them in, yell it out, whatever you want. So let's say you can even throw it up and say, "Hey, one for the crew." Okay. And then the crew, if you give them, bet it wherever you want, they'll bet it for themselves. And they'll say, "Hey, that's $1 for you." Most casinos will let the crew bet it wherever they want. Or you just say, hey, give the crew all the hard ways. Obviously, you're going to need at least $4 for that.
That makes sense.
Or if you want to bet 4, give the crew, snake eyes, a 12, ace deuce. I mean, you just call out anything you want.
But what if I'm betting for myself as well? Let's say I want horn high aces.
Right.
But I also want, well, I guess I guess you could divide it by.
Yeah.
Let's just stick to.
Let's say a horn bet with an aces for the dealer. You know what I mean? You can go with a $4 horn. Just throw the nickel in.
Yeah. Okay, that would make sense. Because it's a $4 bet. So I want a horn bet.
Yep.
Aces for the dealers would work.
Yep.
Okay.
So you can just throw it in, and then they would say "Thank you very much," and they put up aces. Now, when you see the dealers place their bet, it's always in the very middle, and they have to pay themselves and down. Unless you bet it under player control.
So I guess mine's the minimums are different in the middle. So I could do
right.
So I have $2 here. I want aces for me and the dealer.
Yep. So if you said, now if you did aces for you and the dealer, throw that in. They would want you to throw it, and let's say you're over down the center, and then the dealers will go there. If aces hits, you're going to get 30. The dealers are going to take 31 and down, okay? But you could also say, I want a two-way aces, two-way, okay? So two-way, which means you and them, okay? Because there's only one way to make the aces, right? Aces and aces, right? And you say two-way aces, and then under player control. So if it hits twice, the dealers get paid twice. You get paid twice, so it's still up to
win.
Or
I could press them up to 5.
Or you could press it.
10 or,
you know what people do a lot is they'll throw in, let's say $8. You want to do all the hard way. Let's say you do $4. You say two-way hard 6 and 8 under player control. So the first way you could say it is just two-way hard 6 and 8, and that would be set up just like this. The dealers would put their bets over just like this. So if the dealers win, if you win, let's say a hard 6 rolls, I'm going to pay you $9 and still up to win, right? If the dealers hit, it's going to be $10 and down. They're going to take the $10. They're going to say thank you very much for the bet, and they get to take it down. However, if you do a two-way parlay, for example, that's the first thing you could do is two-way parlay. It looks like this. A two-way parlay means you're telling the dealers you're going to parlay the hard way if it hits, or really anything. A two-way parlay on ace deuce, two-way parlay on 12, any kind of number, right? Two-way parlay on a crap check. But anyways, as far as a hard way goes, two-way parlay means if the hard six hits, it parlays for the player, you the player, and the dealer. So in this case, if the hard six hits, I would put $10 and just look like this. Now, you could also do a two-way parlay under player control, right?
Okay, yeah.
And so what's going to happen here is it's going to parlay and look like this again. We're going to keep
going. So if I
going.
want it, I could press it again.
So now, I love this bet for the dealers because now I can get paid more than once as a dealer. Instead of taking $100 and down, I can get paid $90 a few times, or you as a player. So let's say it hits again. We're going to need some green. Here, throw me some green ticks in there, yeah. So let's say it hits again. Now, you know that if you wanted to parlay as a player, yours could look like 100, right? Because 90 and 10 is $100. But you could tell the dealers, hey, take half of that. You lock up half of it and then parlay the rest because it's under player control. The dealers would win $50, and now they got a $50 hard six on that bet. They're going to love you for that.
Nice, yeah.
Because that's now where the real money. It's great that $50 is happening, but dealers are gamblers too. I mean, most crap dealers play. You know what I mean? You heard it here. I mean, you know.
Okay, so these are bad bets, but you guys don't mind them for you guys?
No, love it. They're a lot of fun. They're long shots, obviously, but we love long shots. Every crap dealer.
They play great. They pay great.
That's
if they
it.
Hit, right?
Listen, if you hit this again, you're going to win $900. I'm going to win $500.
Yeah.
That could make my whole day.
We're going to start having to worry about that.
Yeah, the
maximum
limit
for the dealer, right?
Yeah, so that's every casino is a little different, but typically that's perfectly fine. $50 on the hard way for the dealers, it's fine. Once you get up into the early greens.
What about hot bets?
Hot bets, same thing. So you got to be careful about the lingo, though. You remember how we were going two-way hard way? So the two-way hard way automatically means the player and the dealer. You can't say, if you say two-way 9, a two-way 9 is a bet. It's a two-way 9, right? Because there's two ways, right? So two-way 9 is a two-way 9. If you want to bet a two-way, at that point, you're just calling it out for the dealer. Say, hey, dealer's on that two-way 9 too. You know what I mean? It's not a two-way, it's just a two-way 9. And the dealers will do something like this. Depends on the layout or how it's structured, but there you go.
And again, I can just communicate with you guys. I don't know how much it costs to make I don't know that there's three hot
ways.
bets for the six. So
that's it.
I want to make the hot bets for $1, and for you guys, how much money do I need to give you? Is that
so? Absolutely, I would tell you $150, $75 for you, and $75 for me. That's the minimum bet allowed.
Okay.
No, but so I would ask if I'm on the stick. I would say, you know what? How much do you want to risk? Like, you want $1 each? You want $2
I just
each?
want $1 each.
So there we go. I would tell you $6. It would be the minimum that
for
you
me
could bet.
and you. Okay.
If you wanted to do a three-way, two-way.
And then I could do $6, and then
that's
you'll
it.
take care of
And then I would set it up, and then I might not even break it up. I might just do that, and we'd split it up, that kind of thing. Now I'd have to come down, but we would see if it hit, that type of thing. But yeah, and we want you just to throw those in, and again, you could ask the base person or the stick person how to make those bets.
All right. I guess one last thing is. Many tables obviously have side bets.
Yeah.
Marketed bets, fire bet or the all tall smalls, obviously super popular.
Yes.
Same thing. I could.
Yeah, same thing. That's a good question. I'm really not all that familiar. I played the all tall small, but I'm not sure. So there are some of those bets you can't make for the dealer, just based on how they are supported by whatever the company is. Like the fire bet, for example, I believe is a scientific games bet. And so the progressive or the 6-pointers are they're paid separately. They're not always paid by the casino. So it depends on how the side bet is licensed.
Yeah, I don't know about the fire bet. I do know I see a lot of players bet for the dealers on the ATS.
Yeah. So when we were out, when me and Alex were out, we bet for the dealers. Believe it or not, there was no all tall small when I was a dealer. I did deal the fire bet.
It's somewhat newer, right?
It's a somewhat newer thing. And I've seen, have I seen people bet the fire bet for the dealers?
There's repeater. I guess there's all kinds.
There's a bonus bet. It really just depends on the casino and sort of how it's bet. And I'm assuming like any bet basically can be bet for the dealers. I mean, because it's really up to you to pay. Like you said, I mean, if you bet it, you can
Worst
say it's
case,
my bet.
it's mine on top.
And then I'll just hand it in, right? So it's kind of hard, you can't get away
to
from
say
that.
no, that you can't bet that. Okay.
What's a casino going to say? You could just always hand in
Yeah.
pretty much anything. There's nothing against hand-ins,
Right. Okay.
Kerry Packer used to hand in $200,000 at a time.
Okay.
I mean, you saw him come through the doors and everybody was good.
Everyone's salivating, right?
Dude, everybody, it was a fantastic day. Yeah, good.
All right, cool.
Good?
Well, tip
Easy.
your dealers, yeah.
Yes, tip your dealers. Thank you. God bless. All right, good stuff. Thank you.